answer your question, I think we might not even see like a mage in the mid lane. Or at least we get to see like a scaling hero in the mid lane. Like your Naden, your Matrix, sometimes the Popol and Koopa even, although the Popol and Koopa will be in the side lane. So really so much to expect.
Your team
Even
is
Farsa,
banned.
I would say, will definitely be banned here.
Well,
if not stolen.
well, that's true. If not still, I think both sides can utilize it really well. Now, Onic PH going to be on the blue side with Onic ID going to be on the red side. It's going to be the Phoveus as well as the Matilda band, and also coming in from Indonesia, it's going to be Ling as well as the Yve. We'll see how this shapes up, but so far, based on what I've seen so far, I'm expecting like, Farsa and Yve to not even touch
Your team
exactly
is
that,
banned.
not even touch the Land of Dawn.
Yeah, both of the teams, they are going for full respect. Again, both of these teams, they know exactly who their opponents are. They are basically brothers. You can call them brothers. They're from the same parent organization here. Onic versus Onic. I think if we can set aside the rivalry just for a bit, Philippines and Indonesia, either way, it's Onic time. And here we are going to see the final ban coming in from the side of Onic ID. One more respect ban is going to be great. Hayabusa on the hands of someone like Kyrie. Very, very flashy, explosive. Like Wolf mentioned earlier, they need to take this away from Kyrie. And exactly that is going to happen. Onic ID picking off that Hayabusa for Kyrie. Onic, though, with the response.
I love it. I love it. So far, I mean, these are all things that we should have been expecting. And from yesterday's games, we had a lot. But this is what I wanted to get to. We finally get to see on a world stage how an Amon is going to start shaping up.
Okay, the best thing about the first picked Amon is that there's not much counters on it. The Phoveus is already banned. That's a problem for him. And now with the Matilda also banned, Amon might have a free-ish game here. The best thing about it is that this is an open pick. We don't know if this is going to be jungle, if this is going to be a gold lane Amon, or a mid lane Amon. And I tell ya, Onic boys, the Onic Philippines boys, they love that. Now, Onic Indonesia, I do love their responses in the Beatrix. And then again, another flex pick. You don't know if this will be a mid lane Beatrix, or will this be a gold lane Beatrix.
Yeah, but that's the story overall, right? Every single time you are on the red side, you're kind of looking for these bigger flex picks, have something that's a little more straightforward, like the Paquito and that flex pick of Beatrix, to kind of see what your opponents are going to solidify in the second phase.
Absolutely, but there you go. It's going to be the Rafaela to counter the Paquito, perhaps right here with the Holy Baptism, adding also a little bit more sustain and mobility here in their composition. But this is one thing that I forgot to mention here. For the side of Onic ID, yes, Farsa and Yve, those are the two heroes that we've seen from Drian that he's played very successfully. But I do want to mention this as well. I might have to pause for a bit because we are going to see Lancelot on the hands of one of the best junglers here in the world, Kyrie. But yeah, going back to my point before that, Beatrix was and still is at a 100% on the hands of Drian. Again, he didn't get a lot of playtime in Season 8 because it was deactivated, but this man on Beatrix in the mid lane is a problem.
My wish list is that Onic Indonesia just picks up East and Chin now. Let's bring up the big guns. Let's bring up your destiny draw as we talk about it.
You want to go, bro? Let's go.
Let's do it. Come on. Onic Indonesia, please.
We're hoping we can hear the last couple of seconds. Onic Indonesia, make it happen. Do you want to do it? And here it is. Oh, it's going to be a Kufra, but there is still hope.
Kiboy, my goodness.
Kiboy, yeah. Kiboy, in Indonesia, he is labeled to be the best tank in Indonesia, right? Mechanically, this man, he just performs out of his mind. You need to get him on these flashy, explosive heroes like the Kufra, the Cho, the Jawhead. He does perform well on the Rafaelas as well, but this is where he truly shines.
I agree. Kufra is a deadly hero to give Onic Indonesia. Now, with the pair up on the Beatrix and the Paquito, there's a little bit of team fight in there. I would imagine Onic Indonesia will just double down on all team fights. Because if you're looking at Onic Philippines, that's where they don't shine. Lancelot as well as Amon's more those pickoffs. Rafaela will eventually get a gold laner to amplify with. I mean, Lancelot and Rafaela, sure, it's a good combo, but normally you're looking for a combo with the Rafaela. They always say you can't get Rafaela a la carte.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna remember that for next time. But now, looking at the next two bans here, it's gonna be Esmeralda as well as Bane. Onic PH saying, no, we don't want you to disengage. If you're gonna fight, I want you to commit to it. And Onyx like, you know what? maybe we could set up for somebody who has Peel and has shields. I'm leaning more towards potentially Uranus. Thoughts on that, Mirko?
Yeah, I mean, technically right now with the Bane ban coming in from Onic PH, again, it's just really hard to ban away the heroes of Onic ID. We've seen them use literally every single hero, perhaps here in MPL ID Season 8, most unique heroes, in MPLI, most unique heroes, and now it is going to be very, very hard to draft against them. With the Bane ban, it does take away a little bit more, but for Onic, they still have so much more to offer. They have the Lapu that has just been so consistent for the side of Onic. The Yuzong is still opened up, and there you go. As I said it is going to be banned away from the side of Onic ID, taking it away from the hands of Larsky. No need for any introduction. This man as well, Wolf. You can maybe elaborate on this, but there is a reason this guy is notorious.
Yeah, Dilar actually is called Dragon, which, basically is dragon. Or sometimes his teammates call him Draggy, which,
Draggy. Yeah, just making it cute.
Yeah. And so they always tell Dilar that he looks already like a Yuzong. That's how they. But yeah, what really is interesting here is, will Onic still get the Yi Sun-Shin? It still is available, because I'm not seeing any answer to the Lancelot. You kind of need someone to also match up with the damage output as well as the mobility. I'm also thinking about Roger, perhaps, for Onic Indonesia.
Potentially.
Potentially. For Onic Philippines, there are other heroes that can give peel, but it might not be the meta heroes that we're looking for. Something like Blue. I was about to say Ruby, but Ruby is now snatched by Onic Indonesia. And by the way, both teams, this probably is the longest draft.
They're taking their time.
They're taking their time, right?
Look, I mean, brothers, they gotta make sure that if they win this game, they're gonna hold it over them for the rest of their lives. But Onic PH gonna be locking in the Lilia this time round with their final pick here to finish off the composition.
My God.
My God is right, man. My God is right. We get the Lilia right here, one of the signature picks coming in from the side of Onic PH, and to round it all off, it is most probably going to be that XP laner. They are still lacking a little bit of frontline. Sure, they have the utility, they have the sustain, they have the durability in the team fights and the damage, but what they need right now is a proper form of engage. And there you have it, a damage right here. A strong frontliner, not much of an engage hero. Sure, he can go for some picks, but that is going to round up Onic Philippines' draft. Onic now looking for the close out for their draft as well. Now, what I do want to mention here is for Onic ID, whenever they do pick the Paquito, it's actually never been used in the XP lane back in MPL ID. They've always opted to put this Paquito in the jungle. With the nerfs on Paquito in the current patch, that's not gonna happen. That might happen actually. You see, this is the thing. Welcome to Onic ID's draft. Everything literally can be flexed, but it is actually gonna be the Nathan played in the jungle, Paquito played in the gold lane.
All right, boys, the stage is set here. Both compositions ready to go. Man, I did not expect this Onic versus Onic matchup, especially since, I drew it, unfortunately. And I was
about to say that.
Yeah, to be fair, I did draw it. It's kind of my fault on that one.
Yeah.
You can thank me for anybody who wanted to see this matchup. I'll take credit for it. But you guys have been extremely respectful for both sides, understanding how both Onics work. We've got some amazing insight. But the question is, who is going to sit up on top? Is it going to be the Onic from the Philippines, or is it going to be Onic from Indonesia? Which one is it? Use their hashtags and support your favorite team as we land straight into the land of Dom for our first match of Group B.
It's time, baby. Let's get it right here. Hashtag PH Pride or hashtag Indo Pride in the chat. I want everyone to go crazy. Show your support for your country. Nationalism at its best, as we are going to see these titans collide in the first match of day number 2.
So far, I mean, the game is starting off slow, but Drian immediately looking to try and punish Royski here, and it may not necessarily be a good idea to give them such an early level lead, especially since they haven't hit level 2.
Absolutely, this is the power of Beatrix in the early game. She just does so much, from terms of wave clear, and in terms of basically fighting 1v1s as well. But it's gonna be CW, first blood by Razor. Super sharp, crisp gameplay from Marquis, already picking off the gold laner.
This is really interesting. I am getting the vibes that this is going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, Hatred playing Amon in that mid lane is strange enough, but it's going to be Boots and Delarsky, who's pretty much going to be an island on their own here.
Yeah, I agree. That is It's a 50-50 battle that will be just, about clearing waves at this point. I was actually surprised that instead of going for the Paquito jungle, they went in for the Paquito gold lane. Now they match it up against the Lilia, which is even worse for the Paquito because just of the range and the burst damage. And I think that Onic Esports might have overthought this. Maybe they are thinking that the Amon will be in the gold lane instead of the Lilia. If Lilia in the mid lane now, it's tricky because you have the Amon immediate burst against the, eventually if he gets level 4, that's a big burst on the Beatrix and Beatrix can't stop that. And on top lane, the combo of the Paquito can be easily be tagged up and soaked up by the Black Shoes and Marquis actually winning the battle up top.
Honestly, I think this is just really interesting. Initially, I thought Onic PH was like, you know what, we have the Amon, we've already got the Lilia as well. We can control the mid lane and maybe help out our Amon. But instead, they're like, no, we don't care about lane. We want to fight for lane dominance. Oh my goodness, Bloisky almost getting one shot there.
Let's go. What happens here is going to be Sans popping the entropy. Turtle will be taken away by Valersky, though. It's going to be Kyrie jumping in. Sans going to be the target. Keyboy gets taken down. It is a 1-for-0 right now as the Onic Philippines have come out on top. CW, he's looking for the gang onto Hatred. A lot of damage has been placed. Still stuck at 1 HP and is able to survive. Onic Philippines right now are still untouchable.
Ooh, really? Really? He survives 1 HP? All right. I mean, so far, as you mentioned, Onic PH still with the lead 2-0. They've developed at least a 2K gold lead, 2 minutes as they move into the 3rd minute of the game. CW, he's just kind of stuck in this lane with this Lilia. He cannot outpush it for now, but now that he's level 4, he may have an opportunity here. Mid lane gonna get opened up.
It is going to be opened up. Aloyski again opening up the map really, really well. There's nothing Onic Esports, Onic ID can really do at this point to go and target this. Oh, Aloyski, maybe not actually. It's going to be Drian using the ultimate, getting in, and the flicker to finally get a kill back onto Onic Philippines. And guess what? Indonesia, they're on the board.
Oh, that was nasty. I mean, we had to move that away. It was the kids can't see that. The kids definitely cannot see that. We got to protect them while we still can. But now this does open up the map a little bit more. They should be pointing towards this mid side, and immediately they do find Agent. Ooh, whoa! Where did he go? I was gonna throw it over, but he just instantly popped.
God, I mean, you know what? Under to our convention center, we were talking about how the shotgun of Beatrix is not that good when it comes to team fights, but look at that pickup. I mean, he just was gone in a second.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's kind of what Amon's biggest weaknesses is. His base HP is really, really little, and the same can be said about Rafaelia, but let's see how they control it, because Onic Esports, great control of mid lane. They're pressing it onto the top side.
Wait a minute, it's going to be Hatred jumping on it. Keyboy still has a flicker and is able to dodge away. Sans now gets caught in the Holy Baptism. Kyrie dashes in with a Thorn Rose. He's going to go for the kill. The Retribution just a little bit more, but Sans somehow still survives. Miscalculations coming in from Kyrie, but it's okay. It is already very good setup for the Philippine side to take this second turtle. CW, though, he doesn't want to go for ways. He's going to be able to take that Black Boots away before the turtle fight starts, but there isn't going to be a turtle fight.
I love it. I love this early aggression coming in from Onic PH, but Onic Esports, they also know that they want to keep strong. The turtle's slain. Oh my goodness. We got to thank the Singaporean Tourism Board for making this game happen here. Onic PH and Onic Esports, like, oh, God bless to the fans, raging in chat for the excitement of this game.
Man, I'm looking at the chat. There are a lot of funny comments, but I think the number one, the most funny one is like, I hope Onic wins. It's just so...
Ooh, I do hope that Onic wins too.
Oh, that's the greatest. That's the greatest. But now the next fight is already beginning. Sand starts the initiation. The CW pushes them back, but Onic Philippines understand. Yeah, 4 against 3. Let's chill for a second, boys.
It's the calm before the storm right now, right? Onic and Onic, both of them, they're playing it safe. They don't want to really go for aggressive plays before an objective spawns up. Drian going in, trying to clear the Little Wanderer, knows that Hatred is in the bush, instantly just backs away. He has this shotgun to go for the wave clear, to go for this Little Wanderer, but Kyrie is going to jump in with the Phantom Execution, gets the Thorn Rose out, not going to be able to fish, and no, wait a minute, Kyrie keeps on going in, Sans goes in for the entropy, and there you go! CW out of nowhere catches a kill, and now it's going to be Kyrie on the next target. He's trying to run away, but in the end, it is just going to be a 1-for-0 for the side of Onic ID.
Ooh, fast fingers, but also just a great diversion coming in. As Onic Esports, they're like, okay, Onic PH is like, we're going to jump your backline, we're going to try and take out your jungler, but Sans is like, nah, I want to take your support. I want to make sure I'm punishing this Amon, and even Keyboy finally catches this. Oh!
Kyrie coming in. He's going to go for more. Drian, he can't go anywhere. And that's going to be a double kill picked up for Kyrie. Looking for the triple kill. CW is nowhere to go. Will he get it? The triple kill for Kyrie.
That's showtime, Kyrie, that you're looking at. With the 3K, I'm actually wondering why he was so confident in playing that round. But he knows that Onic Esports already blown all of their ultimates and that he has got the damage. He knows the Lancelot so much, and you know what they say. The last championship in the world stage was off of a Lancelot from the Philippines.
We gotta pay respects where respect is due, and you're absolutely right about that, Wolf. But I have to admit, like RPH, they've got some really sick mechanics on their junglers. I think that is the staple point and one of the biggest factors that Philippines has going for them. But Onic Esports, you have to admit, their macro coordination is pretty good.
Yeah, Beloyski is gonna get chunked really, really low there, but the turtle is gonna be taken away by Kyrie. San's gonna be the target right now, gets stunned up. Not enough damage to get him down, but Onic ID, they're gonna go back instantly, just falling back. Don't want to commit onto a failed objective steal as CW as well, doing the same thing at that top side.
It's going to be a tough matchup from here on out because now as we're slowly rotating into that vacant. Wait, Keyboy
going in. He's going to be able to get Beloyski out of the way, but it's going to be Kyrie dashing back and forth. Sans gets chunked really low. It's going to be Boots still running away. A lot of damage has been placed by Drian, and both teams decide to back off once again. 0-4-0.
It's a good call. It's a really good call. But let's pull up the item list so far. Is there anything out of the ordinary here, Wolf?
Well, one thing is for sure, I mean, Marky is so rich right now with 2 items. Ice Queen 1 as well as the Enchanted Talisman. And look at Kyrie prioritizing the Malefic Roar over something like an Endless Battle or a Blade of Despair.
No, I think that's actually a really good idea because I think that Onic PH have identified that, like, yes, Onic Esports are kind of strong when it comes down to these bigger team fights. Maybe we can have a little bit of put some points in some split push, make sure to keep things open, look to kind of pick up the gold around the side lanes and maybe to split Onic Esports apart.
Yeah, one thing that I did notice is that Beloyski picked up the Antikyras. That's why when he was gunned upon by Onic Esports, with the physical, majority of the damage from Onic Esports is physical, Onic PH survived that play.
Okay, Belarski is going to get ganked, instantly just taken out right here. No response from Onic Philippines. Onic ID will be able to take a turret to equalize in this game. Still, right now, a 2,000 gold lead for the side of the Filipino representative. But Keyboy, he's going to look for Kyrie. Oh my god, what was that? He goes in and gets a kill. Boots is going to be next on the chopping block, still able to run away. Drian, he's got to be careful. Kyrie's hungry, and he's going to jump in. Thorn Rose almost deletes Drian from the Land of Dawn, but Onic ID will still be able to get out of that one. Not for long, though. It's going to be CW going for the knockout strike, able to do some damage on the Hatred. Still able to run away for now. Keyboy gets chunked pretty low. Drian goes in for the snipe. Not enough damage to take anyone down. It is a 1-for-0 for the side of Onic PH.
Wolf, you got some apologizing to do. Caster's Curse on Delarcy. You're talking about him and giving like anti-Cuirass and then he gets dove by 4 people.
Exactly.
That is just ironic here. But now Turtle has turned into Lord right now. And so far with the energy chase plates already down, Onic Esports are losing turrets on the sides of the maps. So currently, Onic PH currently up when it comes down to these neutral objectives. But more importantly, it's about that control, right? Whoever breaks mid-tier 1 is going to have a great opportunity at choking out the jungle economy.
Yeah, it's almost a mirror matchup for both these teams. And when you're looking at an Onic Derby, you always have to look for the minimap because Beloyski, his positioning from the previous clash that Onic Philippines was able to win was off of him just hiding in there, just stunning Onic Esports, catching them off guard.
Onic Philippines, they're taking this actually really, really fast. Boots, he's trying to open up the map, but it's going to be the Lord taken away by Onic Philippines. Onic Esports, though, is there looking for the fight. K-Boy goes in for a Tower's Revenge. Shutdown has been taken away, but look at Larsky. He goes to the back lines and absolutely demolishes them. But CW, he's doing the same. And look at Delmon! The double kill picked up out of nowhere. CW and Boots, the side laners, all there is left, but Hatred will take the triple kill.
Oh my goodness, Boots fighting! He finds one more, Marky! Is he trouble? Is he gonna die here? No! He pulls it off! He does it!
What the heck was that? Onic Philippines, 4-2.
In the Philippines, this is what we call the Onic magic. The way that they handle their mages is just so magical at this point. Look at Hatred. Watch out for Hatred and the way that Kyrie actually dodged some of the skills because of the Thorn Rose. And you're gonna see the whole wraparound from Hatred. Both Sans as well as Drian were in the same spot. And you know that Amon, he loves that very, very tight corners. And look at that. I can't describe it. It's Onic magic at this point.
It's great because both these Onics, they're playing really similar games. They understand the backline is going to be a problem. They're going to have one player dedicated to go back there from either one of these Onics. So really, it's about the heroes, and Amon is just great. Now, Boots gonna get attacked straight away.
A lot of resources have been spent though. It's gonna be Sans going in and getting the kill onto Hatred. Although, look at the burst. Oh my lord. Marky's damage is disgusting. Almost one-shotting Sans.
They need to breathe here. I think, honestly, if you're an Onic Esports from Indonesia, you need a little bit of a breather here. You need to be kind of slowing down that tempo against Onic PH, who is pressing their lead against them. But the lead isn't that far apart. You may be thinking 5K, but that's literally one team fight. Looking at the items here so far, what's the next step for Onic Esports here, Wolf?
They need magic defense for now. As Onic Philippines, they see Marky and Hatred, they're dealing so much damage. I mean, Carry's the threat, but if you combine Marky and Hatred together, they're so strong as well.
Larsky just takes so much damage with the Vengeance on him, but it's gonna be Kyrie jumping to the backside, still able to deal some damage right there as Onic ID will choose to fall back from that one. Kyrie, he's really hungry for kills here. The disrespect already coming in, 2 levels ahead of Sans, and you can see the dominance at this point, man. 5 turrets to 1, 12 kills to 7, and that 7,000 gold lead.
I want to say for Onyx Esports, if they hang together, they have 2 marksmen in the late game. And no matter what happens, Keyboy's ultimate will be instrumental. If you're looking at Onic Philippines, their cores, their gold lane, their mid lane, their jungler, they don't have Purify. And this ultimate from Keyboy combined with the burst damage from Jane, as well as Sans damage in the late game, that is something that Onic Esports might go for.
I mean, we have to keep in mind that Blois, he did take the Purify. He understands that with his ultimate, he might be able to save at least some of the key members of his team in these tight situations. Now, as we're coming back to the economy game here, Onic Esports, yes, they are down by 7K, but they just need to get to the 42K mark so they can get their marksmen online, especially for Sans. He's been farming very, very hard, but it's important that both Keyboy and as well as CW get their own items to really make the difference in these upcoming team fights.
Yeah, I think this is where we can actually speak a little bit about the drafts. I feel like if they picked up the Eastern Chin, it would be much better to get that utility all across the board. Getting that vision is going to be crucial, especially in this kind of situations. But let's just see what happens here. Sans will be able to get that purple buff with the help of his team, but 20 seconds left right now for the Lord to spawn, and it is going to be an enhanced Lord. Onic Philippines, they will have the pressure here. What does Onic Esports need to do?
Well, I think Onic Esports, they just need to breathe. They understand that this first Lord is going to be the most difficult one to actually obtain. So if they can defend this out and drag this game out, they know for a fact that they scale much harder compared to Onic PH. Onic PH, completely opposite. They want to wait for the Luminous Lord. They want to ensure that they can at least get one inhibitor turret and look to end the game with this lead and give them the best advantage possible.
Yeah, already Dilarsky and Boloisky with the Zona, right? This is Onic Philippines getting the Lord so easily.
Uncontested, you can say there. Onic Esports, they didn't know what to respond with. They tried to go for a trade, they tried to go for the contest, but in the end, the zoning from the side of Onic PH, and they just beautiful decision making to focus in, to commit into that Lord. It is going to come up for Onic Philippines now with the enhanced Lord marching down that top side.
I beg to defer. I think Onic Esports, they're seeing that the sonar is already coming up, and they decide it's just not worth the resources to commit to this. And especially since this is the first Luminous Lord, I don't think they're that worried about clearing things up. They just need to make sure an inhibitor turret doesn't go down.
14 minutes, 2 Athena shield picked up. It is still on time for this next flash, which was really instrumental for Onic Philippines. Let's see how it goes. The third one.
Holy Baptism connecting onto Boots going in. Not a lot of damage has been placed to either of the teams right now. It is going to be CW looking for a flank. Goes into the backside, unable to get anything done. It is going to be the Thorn Rose picked up, but the Lord has been taken down. Onic Esports now with the defense. Will they be able to pull off a miracle here? Maybe even come back against the Filipino representatives. It is just going to be Onic PH rotating to the mid lane, getting that tier 2, and being happy with it.
Yep, this is perfect. This is exactly what Onic Esports wants. They know their timings. They know that no matter how much of a lead that Onic PH has, as long as they are still in this game, they have hope to scale.
And I do agree with that because of the fact now that they have Drian on this Matrix, and you know that there's a ton of wave clear on Drian from long distance. You have the rockets, you have the machine gun as well. And if you're looking at Sans, can also sit back, go for the ultimate play, use your ultimate to your advantage is what I'm trying to mean. And Onic Esports, if they just continuously just defend against Onic PH, this lead, it will not matter much. Because there will come a point where the lead, even if it's like 10k or 12k, if it's at like 18 minutes, it won't matter as much. You still have your locked items out, and Onic Esports, I think they have now 4 Athena Shield, which kind of, is a problem for Onic Philippines because they now have to take the fight outside of the Onic Esports base.
Yeah, I mean, this is the exact plan. Like, now Onic Esports can comfortably turtle up and just say, hey, it doesn't matter how much of a lead, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And Onic PH has to answer the bigger question. How do we break open this inhibitor turn on that top side? How do we get ourselves this big advantage? Because you can see, as you mentioned, Wolf, Drian, he's just whipping out Ben and is like, okay, set something. Oh, wait, hold on! No, we're looking for the engagement.
Look at that. Actually, Keyboy gets in and gets the Tyrant's Revenge on the 2 members, but there's just no follow from the side of Onic Esports. They need to be able to defend. Kyrie jumps in, back and forth, trying to deal some damage, but it is going to be the inhibitor turret falling down to the top side. Onic ID on full defense mode now. With 1 inhibitor turret down, it is going to cut their, their rotations even more here. It's going to be really, really hard for them to look for any kind of plays. It is also the Lord spawning in 60 seconds.
60 seconds, that's more than enough time for CW to get back into the game, but the Philippines just caught Indonesia kind of slacking there. You don't see that very often, and for CW, he's definitely like, okay, I gotta be a little bit more aware of the positioning. I cannot afford to give another one of these kills away.
Yeah, that's really the problem with you having so many scaling heroes on your side. You kind of feel that you need to get out, I need to get some farm, and that's what CW try to do. And unfortunately, he's gonna meet the brunt of Onic Philippines, and this will also mean that the dirt up top is opened up. That means that Onic Philippines will have a little bit of a lane advantage. All they have to do now is to let the lanes flow from both the bottom and the mid lane, and now they can control the lower area.
I think this is interesting because CW, is he trying to build a Hunter Strike on Paquito so far? Doesn't their team kind of have more than enough damage at this point in time?
Yeah, but then again, if you're a gold lane Paquito, you want to deal the damage. So it's a big dilemma on the side of Onic Esports. Should you just consider CW as your second XP laner and then put Rian on more on a damage per second kind of role, right?
Yeah, it's tough, but based on what we saw from the TikTok live cam on this Luminous Lord, Onic PH, they want this fight. They're baiting Onic into it. It's like, yes, come to us. And CW, he is able to face check it. He gets out of there no problem whatsoever, but that's what we're talking about. That sonar from the Philippines, making it tough for Onic Esports to really make a very clear decision about this Luminous Lord.
They are contesting for this, though, Gideon and Wolf. I feel like this is the calm before the storm, man.
Yeah.
This might be the final Lord for any of the teams, right? If Onic Philippines lose this team fight and get wiped out, it is very possible for Onic ID to come back from this. But we'll have to see what happens here. Kyrie dashes forward, gets some damage onto Keyboy. Sans is still able to kite away with the entropy, but look at that. They are 1 member short. Onic ID has had to basically move Drian to that top side to be able to withstand the damage, but it's going to be Keyboy caught in a bad situation the bottom side. Gets chunked to half HP. Now, the health bars and the resources, many of the abilities have been used up. We'll see what happens as of this moment. It is still the calm before the storm. Both teams just poking at each other.
Yeah, they got to reset. For Onic Esports, they're at a clear disadvantage here. Drian has to go back up to clear up that waves time and time again. But Onic PH were hovering around this Luminous Lord for so long that Kyrie was getting chunked out by this Lord, and he doesn't want to be anywhere close to lethal HP to get one shot by Onic Esports.
Onic Philippines, they're trying to burst this down with Beatrix coming down as well. It will mean that Onic Esports have just been split up the map. They need to be doing so many things at once. It's gonna be the damage coming in. Boots gets instantly taken down. Sans jumps in with entropy. Does not deal enough damage. Hatred jumps onto him, but look at Keyboy! The Tyrant's Revenge gets the kill. The Lord is still up for grabs. Will they be able to take it? It's gonna be the steal! Oh my god! Onic Indonesia with the comeback. 4-2, and the Lord goes to Indonesia.
Give it to Keyboy. Give it to Keyboy. It was looking so Filipino favorite in that fight, but Keyboy turns it around, catching 2 and helping, and Drian getting the Lord at the same time. Kyrie could only do so much.
My goodness, Keyboy, what a wonderful play. By the way, good peeling coming out from Onic Esports.
Huge.
Even if you say that Boots
the
his
death
argument,
timers.
he might have fed, but that wasn't really the case.
Wait a minute, the death timers are gonna be enough. The predictions and Onic ID, they come back. It's over. Onic ID with the first win here in the M3 World Championships, day number 2. What a beautiful, and I really mean beautiful game of Mobile Legends. Yeah, that was
Wow, it's
honestly,
amazing.
it really was amazing.